Yeah, let's start, Praveen.
Okay, can I start now?
Yeah, yes, please.
Okay, sir. Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. I am Praveen Prasad Andikor, and I'm currently pursuing my MTech from Indian Institute of Science in Robotics and Autonomous Systems. So I was part of IGC before. I had taken the gate coaching and all thanks to them that I am here today. And today, like this is one of the sessions for post-gate guidance, where I'll be talking about my department, that is Robert Boss Center for Cyber Physical Systems. And yeah, here we go. So about our center, so this Robert Bosch Center was started in 2011 under the division of interdisciplinary research. So basically, it started as a program where they only used to take in PhD students, but in 2021 they started a new program which was a MTech coursework program, and then last year in 2023 they started MTech research program as well. So basically, there are three programs available right now, and in this center we mostly focus on robotics, autonomous systems, artificial intelligence, and socio-technical systems. So as you can see, in IISc there are many divisions of sciences. So there is division of biological sciences, chemical sciences, physical sciences, and so on and so forth. So there are three main divisions, which is division of interdisciplinary research, division of EECS, which is electrical, electronics, and computer science, and division of mechanical sciences. So our department lies right in the center of these three. So there are around eight departments which are associated with our department. So uh, from mechanical sciences, it is mechanical engineering and aerospace engineering. From division of EECS, it is electrical engineering, ECE, and electronic system engineering, computer science, and automation, and so on. And there are few departments in interdisciplinary research as well. So because of this, our department is very highly interdisciplinary. We have projects which are aligned towards mechanical sciences. We have projects which are aligned towards computer sciences, electronics, so on and so forth. And nowadays, there is a lot of focus. Like people are focusing on interdisciplinary research because they are able to produce some really good results from interdisciplinary research rather than the conventional research which was carried out in a particular domain. So now coming to robotics and autonomous systems, as I told you, this is the MTech coursework started in 2021 with around 8 students, and now currently there are around 30 students, which includes four sponsored candidates. So there are like 25 to 26 seats available for people who come through GATE, and so in this program we mainly focus on four things. One is control and optimization. Like this domain will in this domain you will be mostly studying about controls and optimization techniques which are needed for controls. The second research cluster is robotics and embedded systems. Here you'll be studying about core robotics like robot learning and control, perception, and so on and so forth. Then about embedded systems, like you'll be learning like real-time embedded systems. How do you use the microcontrollers and all that to power up your robots, so on. The next research cluster is AI/ML. Like currently, this is the most trending thing which is happening everywhere. Uh, and the fourth one is the socio-technical systems, where you basically try to solve some social problems, like the problems which the common society faces. You pick up those problems and you try to try to find out a solution by using all these robotics, AI, ML, and controls. So it looks like there are four different clusters, but they're like highly kind of there's a lot of intersection between all these research clusters as well. So for example, you can take a subject like the in controls, like we have one subject called robot learning and control, where they study about robotics, controls, and AIML. So in one subject you are studying everything. And when it comes to perception, perception is an intersection of robotics and AIML. And there is something called as edge AI, which is like, you can think it like an intersection of AI, ML, and socio-technical system, and so on and so forth. So these are like very highly you know uh, intersecting kind of subjects, and this is what makes us highly interdisciplinary. Now, coming to the facilities which are available in our department, so there is a makery lab where you have like the state of the art motion capture systems. There are 3D printers available. If you want to do some rapid prototyping and all, you can use it. There are development boards again available, which will help you during again rapid prototyping. Then there is a 5G V2X testbed, which is mainly like used for communication technologies research. There is a robotics testbed as well, where you have leg robots, you have like turtle bots, and the picture which you see is the stock. So it is one of the robots which was developed in IISc only. One of the professors works on this topic, and there is also a humanoid lab. So this lab is present in Art Garage, where like IIC, like our department has collaborated with a startup where they are trying to build a humanoid robot. So you might be seeing like a lot of videos nowadays of humanoid robots. So even IIC is also working on humanoid robots. So yeah, this is just so when you start out, probably you'll not be knowing anything, just like how I did. I studied aerospace engineering. I did my bachelor's in aerospace, and then I jumped to robotics. So you might feel that it's going to be hard, but it's actually not so hard. So initially you'll start up with you know things like just developing some small games kind of thing on this particular microcontroller. Then slowly you move on, and you will try to make some small robots like this, try to control them. And next so on and so forth. So this is like one of the projects which I worked with my friends. Here we tried to find out the velocity estimation using something called as a depth sensor. A depth sensor is a camera. So now with the help of a camera you can actually detect x and y velocities using something called as the camera equation. But when it comes to z velocity, is not so straightforward with a normal camera. So here you use some special kind of camera called as a depth sensor, and that will help you to actually calculate the velocity, the incoming velocity. So when the robot is coming head on towards the camera, it will help you to the depth sensor will help you to find out that velocity. So these are some simple projects we work on, and then slowly we develop. And we so in IISc this year in the open day, they presented this legged robot, and there was lot of talk about this. It had also come in the newspapers. The researchers are working on this, and they explained how this will be like very helpful in things like space exploration and so on. Yeah, so this is like a little bit of motivation from my side. So now let's come to the main thing, which is like preparing for the interview. So when you submit your form for applications, when you submit your application form for admissions, so you will be shortlisted, and they'll call you for an interview. So as I told earlier, there are total number of seats are 30, so it will be around 26, you can say. And the cutoff generally varies year to year. In my year it was like 670 was the cutoff for gate aerospace. And the prerequisites which are required for the course are linear algebra, probability, and controls. So when you get shortlisted for the interview, just 5 days before your interview, you will get an email from the office, department office, and they'll ask you to make a 5-slide presentation about yourself, where you try to cover your BTech projects or your hobby projects, so something like that. And in the interview also you will be asked about your so let's say you've graduated, then they'll ask you about your btech project. So in my case, I was in my fourth year, and I had just started with my btech project. I had not done anything, I had not completed my project at the time. So they asked me about, so I had worked on one more project, which was control systems for spacecraft thermal systems. So I'd worked on that, and I had presented that as my project there in the interview. So they will ask you like very simple things. They just want to know whether your basics are clear. So there I had used a PID controller to regulate the temperature. So they asked me, what is PID controller? Write the PID equation and what each term in the PID equation is trying to tell. So you need not explain in like too much of mathematical depth, but a good intuition can be given. If you are able to convince the professor with your intuition, I think that should be sufficient. So now, so once you finish your BTech project part or your hobby project, then they will start asking you questions with respect to maths. And this is where people like generally like struggle a bit. So what things you need to cover for the interview? So as I told you, like they will focus mainly on three main topics: linear algebra, probability, and controls. So here I've listed a few video lectures which you can watch so that you can prepare for your interview. So first one is linear algebra. There is a MIT Open Courseware lectures by Gilbert Strang. Again, very beautiful lectures where Professor Strang like explains about linear algebra, where he makes you think linear algebra not in terms of matrices, but in terms of vectors and vector spaces and so on. Again, this intuition, like that you need to have that sort of idea that when you see equations, you shouldn't think that it's just a system of equations, but you should start thinking in terms of vectors and so on. So now then, linear algebra, that course you can watch. Second one is the probability course. Again, probability course, there is an MIT course on that as well, but like it's a on a little heavier side. So you can also watch Khan Academy videos. They are very simple. So you need to have some basic probability idea. So Khan Academy lectures can help you there. And coming to controls, I what I have seen mostly is that aerospace engineers don't study controls in their undergrad course. So if you have not studied, it's fine. You can still prepare for the interview. And there is one NPTEL lecture series by IIT Madras by
Praveen,
Rao.
you probably interrupt. IGC, in
Okay.
fact, have expertise in control also. When IGC
Okay,
have
sir.
provided free lectures for both signal and control on IGC channel,
Oh,
because
okay, okay,
IGC is not just only Gate A Institute. You know, right?
okay.
We have other
Yes,
non-aero
yes.
branches also. And those who are
Okay,
IGC student, if they are interested for this course, even when Lokesh Bansal joined the first
right,
batch, 2021
right, sir.
batch, I only guided him for control part through IGC lectures. Okay,
Okay,
yeah, please,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's great to know.
So whatever
I
all
wasn't
these,
aware of that.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
All
sir.
these prerequisites we cover very well, because in fact now
Okay.
we teach GATE DA also, data science and
Uh,
artificial intelligence
yeah,
paper.
then, yes, sir.
There we
Yes, sir.
teach these linear algebra,
Right, sir.
probability and statistic and calculus optimization in a very well manner. So
Uh,
IGC is all in one solution for all this. Yeah, thank you.
okay.
Please.
Yes, sir. So during my time, the DA and all was not there. But yeah, now I think if DA lecture series are available, like I'm pretty sure the linear algebra, what the teach there will cover whatever is there in this MIT lectures. There. So yeah, you can watch that DA lecture series by IGC. And coming to the fourth topic, which is graphs. So in graphs, what I mean by graphs is plots and not the graphs which you deal in AIML kind of things. So So in graphs, like in plots, they will ask you to plot some very simple graphs like x sin x, x cos x. They'll give you a chalk piece and they'll say, plot a graph of this particular function. Let's say e to the power x sin x. How would e to the power x sin x look? How e to the power minus x sin x looks, or mod x into sin x looks, and so on. So they'll do all those little bit of permutation combination, and then they'll just try to see whether you are able to plot these things or not, because these plots will very regularly occur in control systems, and you need to have an idea of these graphs, like the behavior of the graphs, because this will help you to design good systems. And the fifth one is differential equations. So like if you have time you can study differential equations, but so in my time, when I had gone to the interview, the professor there asked me which topic I would like to take. So he had given me the option, so I chose linear algebra, but yeah, like if you think that you are strong in probability, or if you're strong in differential equations, you can say that I would like to take this topic. So yeah, so this was my interview part uh, in robotics, for the robotics program, and there is one question which was asked in my interview. Yeah, so what I would like to say is that there in the interview, the professor doesn't want you to give the final answer. He doesn't want to know what the final answer is. He just wants to know your approach, how you approach the problem, and whether you are able to come to some conclusion or not. So one of the questions that was asked to me in this in this interview was, as we know, in system of equations, we have like conditions for unique solution, infinitely many solutions. So we know that there are infinitely many solutions when the rank of a is equal to rank of a augmented b, which is less than the number of unknowns. So this is like one condition which we mug up during our gate exams also. So the same question was asked to me also, and I told the same condition. The professor told, okay, if that is so, then let's say that I have two equations: ax is equal to b and ay is equal to b. Now prove that there are infinitely many solutions possible. So when he asked me this question, I was like, I couldn't think of anything. Like I was pretty much blank initially. Like, how do you prove this? The answer to this thing actually lies in one of the video lectures by Gilbert Strang, where he has explained this, how you can prove this thing. So here, what I would like to say is that they will focus on, these are actually fundamentals which we don't focus on. We just try to mug up particular things and go to the exam. They don't want that kind of attitude. They want someone who can question, who can think of different possibilities. So just slowly start developing it. I'm not saying that you will develop it like in a few days, but slowly start developing it. Try to question everything, try to uncover things, and you will eventually reach that stage. So yeah, this was like my interview preparation, about my interview for robotics. And I'll also talk about my other interview experiences, which I'd given in IISc. I'd given one more interview for the CDS department. So CDS is Computational and Data Sciences department in IISc. This is like one of the most sought after branches. Like a lot of people apply to this department, and yeah, I would like to share my experience as well. One good thing about CDS is that they allow GATE aerospace engineers, like GATE aerospace people, also to apply to their branch. It's a highly, again, interdisciplinary branch. They almost allow all departments, to, all GATE papers. People can apply for this department. And the number of seats for the MTech coursework is 30. I think for MTech research it is somewhere 60. So they take a lot of students for MTech research and PhD than coursework, but you can try. The cutoff, again, it varies every year. For Gate Aerospace last year it was, I think, around 590. So you have like a good chance of getting a call for the interview if you're like written Gate Aerospace paper, and if you have a Gate score above, like let's say 600, you'll definitely get a call. So again, the prerequisites required for this course is linear algebra, probability, and programming. So so I would like to explain my experience. So, just like 1 week before my interview, I actually got an email saying that there will be an aptitude and a coding round. So it was on the Hacker Earth platform where we were given some maths questions and general aptitude. So, like for example, uh, like whatever questions that come in gate, logical reasoning and all that, same. It's the same general aptitude, nothing extraordinary. Maths, again, it focuses more on linear algebra and probability. And then there is two questions for coding. They had asked two questions for coding. One question was on matrix multiplication. Let's say that I give you two matrix, like let's say 5 cross 5, two matrix. If I multiply, what will be the output? So you need to print the output. You need to do the multiplication and print the output. And the output should match with the cases which they have given. And then, yeah, and the second question was something called as frequency binning. So frequency binning is like it was an array problem where they had given values from 0 to 100. So you need to let's say you get a value, something like 25. Then so this 25 you need to put it in the bin, which will like keep all values between 20 to 30. So it's like that. So 25 you'll put it in bin 2. Let's say 55 you'll put it in bin 5, like that. So you need to uh, basically put all the values and finally give the output, like what is the number of values in a particular bin. So that was the round one. And second round was in-person interview. So here again, the professors, they were very like open kind of thing, and they told, you can select any subject which you want. So again, I chose their linear algebra. So they focused on linear algebra, and they asked me questions on that. And in the interview also, they'll ask you to write a program. So they'll give you a chalk piece and something, and they'll ask you to do like find maximum two elements. So let's say I give you an array, like show me the maximum two elements of that array, the first maximum and the second maximum element, something like that. And then again, I was also asked about matrix multiplication again in the interview. So so you'll be asked to write the logic for these two things, not pseudocode, but actually like real code. So in programming, they accept only three languages: C, C++, and Java. They don't accept Python. So if you are using Python and if you say that I would like to write the program in Python, most probably they'll say no. Because they want to see your C, C++, or Java knowledge only. And then what topics can be asked for programming is these things. So one is the conditional statements, if else conditions, the loops, for loops, while loops, nested loops, and so on. Then patterns. So you might have like if you do some programming questions, then you'll know that different kind of star patterns you need to print. So these pattern questions they can ask, and they'll also ask about arrays and strings. Arrays is pretty common. So they'll anywhere you go, they'll ask you an array question. And yeah, I think these are the main topics which they'll focus in the interview as well as in the coding round, in the first round. So recursion can be asked, but like I have never seen or never heard from anyone that someone asked them a recursion question. So you can skip that, or if you have time, you can study that as well. So, but this year I think CDS is. No, I'm not sure. They were saying that they would remove the round one, so there will be no aptitude and coding round. So it is like direct in-person interview only. But this is not like 100%. I'm not sure 100%. So just go to their website. You can just type CDS IISc. It goes to their website, and there you can see they would have given you everything, like what's the admission process for 2024. They would have mentioned everything. Go through that properly and prepare accordingly. So yeah, that is so this is my CDS interview experience in IIC. Now coming to the third one was systems and control engineering in IIT Bombay. So again, this is a very unique program in the entire country. So not just in the entire country, but I would say in the entire world also. I was reading somewhere that there are only six departments worldwide which offer a degree in systems and control engineering. And IIT Bombay is one of those colleges. There are only six colleges in the entire world, and IIT Bombay is one of those. So, so in this department, they mainly focus on, again, it's robotics, controls, and motion planning, autonomous systems. They also focus on machine learning. So if you're interested in machine learning, you can consider applying for this department. And good thing is that, again, these people allow aerospace people, get aerospace students to apply to their department. So even I had applied, and the number of seats, it varies every year. It's not like a fixed thing, and the seat matrix is also like not. Sometimes it's not available properly. The information is not available, but it's somewhere around 15 to 20, and the cutoff is. Again, this also varies every year. It is always between like 600 to 650. Last year when I gave, it was 650 cutoff. And the prerequisites same as robotics course. So they want linear algebra, probability, and controls. So for this department, when I'd applied, they called me for a written test, and this written test was in person. Like you have to go to IIT Bombay to write that test. So there, we were asked six MCQ questions. Each MCQ was like 6 marks each. No, 5 marks each. 30 marks was the total, and there is no negative marking. So which is good. So out of these six MCQs, two were asked from linear algebra. In linear algebra, I think one question was on eigenvalues and eigenvectors, and other question was on something called as e to the power a. Like what happened? Uh, what is the exponential of a matrix? So you would have studied like e to the power x, right? So e to the power x is where x is nothing but a scalar value. You just put in a value and it gives you an output. So instead of x, what happens if I put a matrix over there? So this is something which we generally don't study in our BTech things, but I think people from electronics study these things, e to the power matrix. So yeah, so I would say then I think IGC might have lectures on this as well, e to the power a, where a is a matrix. So just go through that, and there was one question from that. So it is fine even if you wouldn't have attempted that, but again, like if you attempt it correctly, it will give you more marks. So that's the thing. And the four other questions were from controls itself. So in controls, they focus mainly on things like transfer function. There's one question on PID also, where they had asked what is the steady state output from the integral controller, something like that. And they'll ask you questions on you need to be like thorough with root locus plots, Bode plots, and yeah, like things like that, like basic undergrad controls. If you know, then I think that is way than sufficient to do well in this test. So one more thing is every year it is like again very it keeps on changing. So when I had applied for this department, it was a written test. So some years I think it was in before 2020 it was an interview. So 2017, 18, and 19 it was interviews. There was no written test. But now they changed it. In 2023 they made it as written test. I don't know why. So every year it keeps on like changing. So this year again you can look into their website. Syscon has its website. Go there, check it out, and yeah, I think this will actually cover my presentation. So yeah, thank you very much. And if there are any questions, like I'm open for that.
Thank you, Praveen. Thank you very
Yes, sir.
much. Excellent presentation. Very
Yes, sir.
nicely you have, presented everything. Very good.
Okay.
Good work. Keep it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So there is one question. It's regarding placement. So there is no
Okay.
much difference between placement for MTech and MTech research. The only thing MTech research take times to complete. So that's what the answer,
Yes.
Ajinkya. And there is one question. Somebody is not having programming background. What should they
Uh,
what should they do? I think they should brush bit of
Yes.
programming and algorithm, how that works, right?
Yes,
What is
sir.
your answer?
So if you're giving CDS interview, definitely you'll be asked a programming question. Like they'll not leave you without programming. So I've mentioned the topics here. So it's like conditional statements, simple if-else statements, loops. How can you handle loops and nested loops? So what are so a for loop inside a for loop, so on, and simple patterns, arrays, and strings. These are the five main topics they'll ask you. You don't have to study recursion and all because that will be little more complex, but these five topics, any question can come in your interview. So yeah, like uh, just start brushing up. It will not take a lot of time. If you start it like even now, I think 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks should be sufficient to cover these topics. Even if you devote like 1 to 2 hours every day for programming, that it is sufficient.
Yeah, I think it is possible. Yeah, so that's good thing. So,
Yes, sir.
finally, you got in that in IIT Bombay, System and Control.
Yes, sir. I got offer from Syscon as well as from robotics from IISc. I chose
Yeah,
robotics.
robotics in ISC. Good, great.
IISc, yes.
Yeah, yeah, great. So coursework will be less. I think very limited courses for MTech research. They will have more about thesis work. Okay,
Yes, yes.
Ajinkya. Yes. So Rajinder, your doubt is clear now. Any more? Anybody have any doubt? Okay, so now, Praveen, I always, uh, promote or appreciate Aero guys who look for interdisciplinary courses. Okay,
Yes, sir.
you know this fact last year, you guys, and before also.
Yes,
So
sir.
there may be one person, he may join Prashant in electrical and electronics. He have very good rank. Okay, in
Okay.
ISC in your
Okay,
department.
sir.
He's bit
Okay.
senior. Currently, he's working in one of the PSU, but he's
Okay.
interested. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Good to know.
yeah, yeah, and maybe your fellow mates, right, Ashish and other people also trying. So let's see,
Yes, sir.
uh, if they call for
Yeah.
interview. Yes.
Yeah. I wish
Um,
all the very
is there
best to
any
the
chance
candidate.
this time to increase the number of seats? Because I heard they have, build a new building also for
Yes,
department.
sir. Our department is getting a new building. That is true. So that it will open in this year, like before August 2024. So students will be joining this year. Like they're like very lucky that they'll have their new department with many lab facilities. Like we also had a building earlier, but that had there was some space constraint over there. So that's
Yeah,
why we are moving
I
to a new
think they
building.
may increase number
Yes,
of
sir.
seats in
So the
coming
number,
years.
sir, recently they recruited faculties as well. There are new faculties who have joined. So
Okay.
they will increase the intake for PhD as well as MTech research. So, but for coursework, I think it will remain around 30 itself. I'm not sure whether they'll increase that.
Yeah, yeah, because usually ISC do not promote so much
Yes,
of coursework based this MTech. Yeah, true.
but
Yeah, so
PhD and
Rajinder,
MTech research will
MTech
increase.
research they may prefer. Sure. Rajinder, may we know what is your next question quickly? Jinkya, first get in any of these three. All are good. Okay.
Yeah, all these departments are very good. Even with respect to placements, they're like very good. CDS is like the top department in IISc right now, and robotics department is performing very well. Like just this year, my senior batch students like they were sitting for placements, and this year our department has like there are already 90% students placed, and just around like 1 or 2 are left. So this is like very good.
Okay, perfect. So I think there is any more question? No more question, right? So we can wind
Yes,
up this session. Thank you again, Praveen. I would like to
thank you
meet
very
you
much.
when joint sometime ISc. They
Yes,
maybe
sir.
this
Sure, sir.
next month, and yeah, once in a while I visit. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
let's see if
Please
this
do
time
come.
I visit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And
And
all the
you
very
told
best
me
to all
to
the
IGC
candidates.
office, right? You told
Yes,
long
sir.
back if I remember, but you never,
Sir, I haven't
turn up.
got any time, sir. I will
Yeah,
come
yeah.
after I finish my semester.
After that, you will join internship, then you'll finish degree, then you'll join job, and then you'll forget
Then
us
no, sir.
forever.
No, sir,
It
no. Sir,
happens.
even if I get a job, I think it will be near your place only.
Yeah, yeah, that is very good. Your friend, senior, Mr. Vedant, Gupta, and all, but
Yes, sir.
they all are in Whitefield. Many,
Yes, sir.
more even other IIT guys also in very close to IGC, but they don't get time, right?
Ah, sir.
Life is like that. Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
no problem. Anyway, I am also quite busy in so many things always, so it's tough. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Sir.
Bye. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Bye bye. It was nice, very nice.